This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Fine, Praveen.
Yeah, sir, this is Praveena Kotakota. On behalf of India School News, I like to welcome you to this online meeting. The duration of our online meeting is about 30 minutes. You can give a brief introduction about yourself and then we can have a round of questions. If any participants join our meeting, they can also join the discussion and you can start your talk now, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Praveena. So let me first introduce myself. I am Dr. Arun Jee. I have been in the field of education for the last 30 years. In fact, over 30 years. I started my career from a college in Nepal, and then I worked as a teacher, as an English teacher in India, in certain parts of India like Bihar, then Jharkhand, then Chhattisgarh. I became the principal of a Delhi public school in Chhattisgarh in 1998, and since then I kept on changing one and the other Delhi public schools from Korba in Chhattisgarh to Vadodara to Rajkot, and then I retired from Batinda, Punjab, where I worked for more than 13 years, 13 and a half years. So right now I am in fact, an English language and literature coach and also an educational consultant. And I also keep writing, and also I, uh, write poetry. I have the other hobbies, like I'm off late. I've been making podcasts and all that. And also I have written in fact, I am in the process of getting one book of English grammar published, which is the manuscript is ready almost. So, coming back to today's topic, as we all know, is humor in the classroom, and this is based on my experiences of being in the classroom all these years. I felt that humor is an important element of the entire process of teaching and learning in the classroom. And of course, nowadays the things have changed. The classroom earlier we used to have in the one which is made of brick and mortar, but all these months we have had online classes. But humor can be common to any such classroom. And what is humor? I think we all know, the one that makes you laugh, smile, that amuses you. That's what humor is. And in the classroom, of course, when I say
Hello,
the
sir.
teacher, there can be different types of humor in the classroom. Like there can be humor even in the absence of the teacher. When the children have pranks and they have giggles, they have laughter and so many other things, and the teacher himself might be the subject of laughter and humor. But here we are not discussing all those types of humor. Right now, my focus is on the humor that a teacher can create in the classroom, the humor that a teacher can use as a tool in the classroom, and not that it should be only for entertainment. Classroom is meant for learning. So is it possible to use, of course, humor for learning? That is a question. And I think my answer is to this is yes. And I have had interactions with a lot of my colleagues, and most of them have said that yes, it is an important element and it must be used. So that is what humor in the classroom. So I would now come to why. Okay, you can have a look at this picture, which I
Yes.
have taken from Wikipedia. That was on the cover of a magazine long back in 1948, and I had taken it from there. So how children are having tidbits, and they're enjoying, they're interacting, and they're surrounded by all those, difficult concepts of psychology. But actually, this also shows how the teacher has to go down to their level and the children who are active and they enjoy, and you have to you help them enjoy the learning, that whatever you want to offer. Anyway,
Right.
we'll go to the next, that is why humor. So I've already told you why humor. Humor should be only a tool, of course, and it should be there to aid learning, to help learning in the classroom. A classroom is meant for learning. Whatever plans you have, whatever chunks of syllabus that you have to deliver. So this should be used as a tool, and that is why, and it can be become a very useful tool, very effective tool. If it is used with a plan, with some care, then it can be quite effective. It's not necessary that you make the children laugh loudly a lot of times. That is not the aim. Once in a while, it is okay. And whether how much of laughter and all that, it depends on the teacher and the teacher's style and knowledge and skill of whether how the teacher can use humor in that class, and how less and what more. So humor, in order to help learning, in order to let learning happen more effectively, that is why we should have humor in the classroom. And then you can have a look at the child, how he's enjoying, you see, with the ball. I've taken it from Wikipedia just for, for
Yeah.
some change visual I want. Now, next,
Okay.
how? That's an important question. There are several ways by which you can create humor. I can tell you, see, recently I was interacting with one of my colleagues, and she gave me an anecdote she shared. She said, once I entered the class, and the children were having interactions, they were talking because there was an announcement of a trip to some hill station, and they were very excited. And so,
Mm-hmm.
because there was a lot of noise in the class when I entered, normally a teacher has a habit. I mean, I've seen teachers doing that. You children, you be quiet or you be silent, like that. What she did was that she wrote on the board, "Thank you for being quiet." And when the children read that, suddenly they became quiet. So you, if you look at this, it was her presence of mind, the teacher's presence of mind. It was the teacher's timing of that. It's not just what you will see and what you will do, what kinds of word play. This was a kind of word play. And
Right.
so you have to keep all these in mind. So word play is one. You can use punchline also, depending upon what you are teaching. You can at times uh, compare an person with a in an oh you see an animate object with an inanimate object. Maybe a thing with can be personalized or personified. I'll give you an example. I illustrate, because creating humor for me is easier than speaking about that. And
Right.
you are, because you are killing the humor that way. So that is another issue.
Yes.
Suppose
Yes, sir.
you're teaching grammar, and grammar is such a dry subject and such a boring subject, and you want to show about the forms of nouns. Now, how nouns change their forms, like bird becomes birds. So sometimes the form is changed and the plural form has s. So a bird flies, and then if it is plural, then birds fly. So you can also, in that period, while you're discussing the forms of nouns, you can say that, look at Mr. Noun, how he changes the dress when you add s, or when you want to refer to more than one. So he will change the dress. You see, Mr. Noun, how he behaves. So something of the kind. There can be other examples. I'll give you the example of what I was doing. I was teaching a story. I don't remember the author. Mrs. Packletide's tiger. There's a famous story. Mrs. Packletide's tiger. Mrs. Packletide used to be a lady. It's an imaginary story. She was jealous of a lady, another lady that was Luna Bimberton, and she belonged to the elite Mem Sahib group which was there in India at that time before independence. So the English ladies, they had leisure time and they used to enjoy doing things. In fact, they used to be jealous of each other and they would compete with each other, one lady with the other, and that's what the subject of laughter is in that story. So what happened? Luna Bimberton had displayed an adventure by traveling by plane from place A to place B, and she kept on boasting about that. So what should Mrs. Packletide do? So she decided she will show another adventure by killing a tiger. But
Okay.
then, so what kind of tiger? So it was very dangerous. So she decided she will offer 1,000 rupees to anyone who can get an old tiger, very old and weak tiger, which can be shot without any danger. So everything was set. One day, goat was tied at a particular place, and she sat on an elevated place with her gun, and the goat kept on, bleating. And the tiger was supposed to come. She was waiting for that, and so finally the tiger came limping and slowly. You don't expect a tiger to do like that. Generally, tiger means
Very
a royal,
fierce. Yeah.
one with strength and all that.
Yeah.
As soon as the tiger reached the place, she was supposed to fire, and so she fired. So when she fired, you know what happened? The tiger died, no doubt. But actually, the tiger did not die because of her bullet. The bullet did not hit her. The bullet actually had hit the goat. So the goat was hit. The goat also died, but the tiger also died.
Mm.
And think of the reason for the death of the tiger. The tiger died of the loud sound. He died of heart attack
Fear.
because of,
Yeah.
so something of the kind. So that was the climax of the story. So you can create something of that also, where you have exaggeration. Exaggeration is one technique by which humor can be created. Then, and by the way, what is actually the source of humor? The source of humor is incongruity, oddity. Supposing somebody is going properly in a normal manner on the road, there is no problem. But suddenly the person slips on a peel of banana and falls. That becomes amusing because the
Right.
person is supposed to go and walk, in a normal way. If it's something odd, that causes humor. So it is incongruity. It is so that's why if you look at any clown or a joker, how does he do? He would dress up in a different way.
Right.
His dress will be unusual, odd. If you look at a movie, if you recall, I don't know whether you recall that movie Tare Zameen Par. Do
Right.
you recall?
Yes.
In
Yes,
Tare
sir.
Zameen Par, there is a song, particular song. The teacher, the art teacher, when he enters the classroom, and he that was his first class. That was his first period. He enters the classroom and he is supposed to introduce himself. So, do you recall how he enters? How he enters the class? He enters
Mhm.
like a clown. Certainly, he makes an appearance and he starts singing
Mm.
and dancing
Mm.
and
He'll jump in the middle of the
jumps in the middle.
students and all. Yes,
Exactly. And
yes,
he sings a song also, which is full of interesting statements, interesting tongue twisters and all, bum bum bole and all such things.
right.
The children were not used to such a teacher in that avatar, in that dress,
It
with that.
surprises them.
So it surprises them. So surprise is an element. Element of surprise is another important thing for humor, for creating humor. It surprises them that a teacher also can wear things like that, dresses like that. A teacher can speak like that, can sing like that, can dance like that, and they're amused, and immediately the teacher is able to create a connect with the class. So what the reason is? Oddity, incongruity. So this is how the teacher, whoever is that. But what I am saying by that is that's just an example. There is no need to follow Amir Khan as he has done in Tare Zameen Par. Every teacher can do things, can create humor
In their own
according to
way.
the requirements, according to the requirements, according to the needs of the class, according to
Yes.
the needs of, or according to the objectives of learning that he has to deliver, and how much of time he should give, how often he should do that. That depends on him. How often he can do, and he should not do if he is not able to do. He is not effective in that. It takes time. Some people, some teachers, I would say, they are good at that. In fact, I know a teacher uh, who who can be compared with any stand-up comedian, because you know he would make his students laugh after every 5 minutes, and you can count the number of laughters that the audience has with the number of the chunks of learning that he offers. So as soon as he makes the audience laugh, the students laugh,
Mhm.
the students have opened their mouths for laughter, he will then become serious and put the chunks of learning in the mouth. So he is very, very intelligent, very good, very smart by that. I mean, I would say that. So,
Hmm.
of course, that is a fantastic skill, and that skill every teacher may not have, will not have, cannot have, because he can be compared with a stand-up comedian. He is actually a counselor, psychologist, child psychologist, who trains teachers. So his students are the teachers themselves, even the principals in Delhi.
Hmm. Right.
I can share. I don't have the video right now. I can share one of the videos which he begins about. He says, "I'll describe that."
Okay.
In one of his videos, in fact, lectures which is in the form of video available on YouTube. His name is Dr. V.S. Ravindran. He
Mm-hmm.
runs YouTube. So in one of his videos, which is on girl-boy attraction in schools, and the teachers are from different schools, and he is answering the questions of the teachers. So one teacher has asked, "Sir, what should we do when there is an attraction between boys and girls? What should we do?"
Hmm.
Reads out the question. I have got a question. What should we do when there is an attraction between boys and girls? He says, "Don't do anything. You can't do anything. जो भी करना
Okay.
है वो उन दोनों को
Mhm.
करना है, आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, करने दीजिए।
Okay.
अब आप
Okay.
अपना एडोलेसेंस याद कीजिए, लेकिन it's an ambiguous statement, because as soon as he has said that, you start laughing.
Right.
once you start laughing, then he would say, okay, do only two things.
Okay.
Like that, he will say, or he would say that, see, there are two things. One is feeling and the other is expression. तो फीलिंग पे तो आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं. अगर दो लोगों में अट्रैक्शन है और वो फीलिंग है और उनकी उम्र है ऐसी, तो उसमें आपका कोई वश नहीं है. You can't do anything.
Right.
But what you can do is you can make a policy in the school of not showing their feelings in the public. You should, it should be it's a complete no in the school, and this is the policy, and if you do this, and this will be the outcome, and all such things. So, I'm just telling you, I'm telling you how humor can be created. There can be different ways. I mean, this is a way by which he makes an ambiguous statement, and he again does, with an element of surprise, and of course oddity, incongruity, because the teachers are expecting him to give some gyan of, hey, what are you doing? Separate the boy and girl. He says, please don't do that. Separating will boomerang. आप अपने इधर सेपरेट करेंगे, वो झाड़ी में छुप के कहीं बैठ जाएंगे. So
Right.
please. So I'm just saying that these are various ways you can do. See, one more thing. When you enter a class and the class is making noise, I am talking about the real classroom. Of course, the classroom work has started from this year in many of the states. So
Mm-hmm.
these children started going, as you know. So I entered a class and I found that the children are interacting with each other and the chairs and the tables are not in order, desks and the chairs. Oh,
Okay.
so then I would say, hey, wow, good morning. I see that the chairs are talking to each other. Let them talk to me. I think I want to talk to the chairs. Why are they talking to each other? I mean, I would like them to talk to me now. So, so
Mhm.
create order. That is the purpose. Maybe there can be something for learning, for teaching, and all that. So we'll go to the next. I have got a visual again. This again I have taken from the Wikipedia, and this is an Afghani girl who is laughing, who is so happy. So,
Mhm.
and we'll go to the next now. How much of humor? So, how much
Okay.
of humor? Again, you have the choice yourself. How much of learning that you have to deliver, and how much time do you have? Of course, you can't continuously. You are not an entertainer there in the class. You are not
True.
an actor. It's not a movie where the first aim is entertainment. The primary aim in a movie for Amir Khan was entertainment, but
Right.
the primary aim in the classroom is teaching and learning.
Subject. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to use it as a tool to help you teach, to help them learn. So it depends on that, and how much more or less depends on the teacher. Now
Okay.
look at this, another amusing visual. We'll go to the next now. And do's and don'ts, yes, very important. You should not laugh at children. That is one important piece of advice I would like to give. Don't make fun of an individual, a group, a community, or anything. Better than that is sometimes you make fun of yourself also. In
Mhm.
fact, you make fun of yourself. Of course, how much you will do and all that, that depends on you. In what context? But at times, I was reading one article in which there is a teacher and there was a case study of that teacher. He was very funny, but he used to do that with a plan. And
Mhm.
he used to make fun. He used to, have humor in the class, a lot of humor. Generally, he would get closer to a child with humor, particularly when the child is shy or the child is cut off from the class. So in order to make a rapport with them, he would individually interact and use humor. Actually, his name was Tom.
Mhm.
So if you make fun of yourself sometimes, then the children, then you don't keep your ego at a higher pedestal, and children then come to your level, and you both can interact better. So that is all about do's and don'ts. And now look at another visual that I have got from Wikipedia, and how a teacher has to deliver all the content knowledge that they have in the books or otherwise in the world, and he has to put on the air of different roles. He has to be in different roles. Sometimes there may be a teacher who can sing and dance and lecture and do many such things. So anyway, so I think that is all from my side on
So,
humor in the classroom, Pravina.
okay. So
I
thanks a
think
lot, sir.
as far as
I'll just
time is concerned, I've already crossed that.
no, no problem, sir. That's not an issue. I can only ask one question since I don't see any attendees today. Usually,
Hmm.
Professor Sarath Kumar, usually he joins us in the midway at least.
Hmm.
Sir, I have one question, last question.
Yeah.
According to you, what are all the hindrances that take the joy out of being a teacher today?
What are all the hindrances?
That take the joy out of being a teacher today? You
In
enjoyed your work, sir, no doubt. So that's the reason you chose the topic humor in the classroom. But
Hmm.
some teachers, like, they sometimes like they feel like this is little, they don't enjoy that particular part. Like, so what are those which takes the joy out of being a teacher?
I don't know because I this question. What are the difficulties you face? You want to say that?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What are the aspects of your
Challenges, you can say that. Challenges also, you can say that.
challenges? What are the challenges that you face in the class? Yes, there are many challenges. Of course, it's very challenging to, you have to be in the public. It's before a group of 30, 40 students, and you have to deliver, and you are responsible for all of the children, their learning, and how much each of them has learned or not learned. It is your responsibility. The challenges are many. There are many challenges. I would
Mhm.
say hindrances that you face. There's so many hindrances. The attitude hindrance. The most important hindrance is you yourself. See,
Mhm. Mhm.
I would say that I would not blame anyone. You
Okay.
are yourself the problem, and you are yourself is the person who will give the solutions. And the joy that you get from your work is by being successful. When you're successful, and that happens with any work, and so is the case with a teacher. If a teacher is successful in his class in delivering what he wanted, what he or she wants, that is the joy. And once in a while it happens that you feel that no, you've not been able to do justice because of reasons which you could not help. That also is weighs on your mind, and then you try next time and you do try to do better. So challenges can be, see, I can tell you about one. I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
Recently I was teaching political science, and in political science I was teaching them how, what is the topic, uh, hmm, it was Iran Iraq war.
Okay.
And Iran-Iraq war, I gave them the work to get the best video on the war, which should be balanced. Balanced in the sense, when there's a war, there are two sides, and it should be such a video, such a news site or whatever, which gives a balanced view and which is not taking any sides actually.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the internet about Iran-Iraq war and you start looking for videos, you would hardly get that because it is flooded with one side only, the story of the one side only.
Okay.
Iran-Iraq war, in fact, it was a US-Iraq war actually. So US and Iraq war story, if you look at, you would find that it is flooded with such videos which only tell the story of the US side.
Yes.
How US has done a good job and all that. What was the story of Iraq? What were their point of view, and all such things you might not get. So when the
Okay.
children presented the videos, I found that they were giving the version of the USA only, and they were trying to convey that yes, US had done the right thing, and Iraq was the villain, and US was the hero. That is what it was.
Hmm.
So, in a way, I found that whatever I had given them, I had given the criteria on the basis of which they had to choose, and they had not been able to perform. So it was my failure. So then I
Okay. The
had to,
purpose of your question was lost.
yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
It was not getting done. So I had to do a lot of research, and then I found one or two videos, and I shared with them, and I told them, see, now look at a politician from the USA who criticizes the US and say that it was not good even for the people of USA. That war was not useful even from the point of view of USA itself. So whatever the US had done, so I'm just saying that,
The example you're giving, right? Yeah.
giving you an example because yes, otherwise that's an open-ended question you've asked. What difficulty? There can be various difficulties. The joy that you
Yes.
get in the classroom is by performing, by giving what you want to do, and if the children have taken what you want to deliver, you get the joy. If you find
Yes.
that they are unable to, so that means you have failed. That is your failure, and you have to
Okay.
improve better.
Right, sir.
So when you want,
Beautifully said, sir.
yeah,
Beautifully said. Yeah.
right.
And thanks a lot for coming on India School News and sharing your views and thoughts. And you chose a very different topic, humor in the classroom. And I hope whoever hears the recording and they will really learn something out of it. And thank you once again and have a great day, sir.
Thank you, Pravina.